I'm Alex Gupta with UATV. Today I'm speaking with Vadym Kostyliev. He is the owner of Tochka Opory, a furniture manufacturing company in Odesa, Ukraine. Hello, Vadym. Welcome to UATV.
Yeah, hello, Alex. Thank you.
So tell me about your business. It's a furniture manufacturing company based in Odesa. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, to make the long story, yes.
Okay, and that you supply furniture, you manufacture furniture for companies all across Ukraine or Europe?
Well, I'd say all across Ukraine. The main profile is we provide services and goods for the small-time furniture manufacturing because we have the machinery and we have the technologies that small guys don't have.
I see. How big is your operation? How many employees and what kind of revenue, if you can disclose that?
Well, I'll gladly not talk about revenues, but we have around 80 people. I'd say 20, 25 of them are in manufacturing, and the rest is marketing and accounting, everything else.
Well, how has manufacturing been in Ukraine since the revolution? Do you see your business picking up?
Yeah, well, the hit was hard. It was a hard blow, but we actually trying, and we do grow a bit. But the thing, times are hard. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was never too easy, but now it is hard. We all have to find some new ways to improve and to fight for the customers. It's especially now when people. Well, the main problem is right now. Not only for manufacturers, but I believe for any business right now, is that people simply don't have enough money.
So you're saying that a lot of businesses, including yourself, are in a cash crunch, and that there's just not a lot of cash available.
Well, I won't be bragging, but I do have enough cash, but our customers don't. And when people have no money to spend on new furniture, well, then you don't have any orders.
How much of a drop-off or how much of a hit was it pre-revolution? Then when you got to the revolution, how big of a drop-off in business was that?
At least 50%, but I would not connect the drop to the revolution itself. I believe it started earlier with the economical crisis all over the globe, and then after that there was the political crisis, and everything just went down and down and down.
And you've seen business pick up substantially, though, in the last year or two?
Well, I'd say maybe 10%. We got back 10%, but still the times are really hard right now.
What would you say needs to happen with regard to the government and the economy in order for it to really improve and to help businesses such as yourself get to a comfortable level?
You see, Alex, we always say that we don't need any help from the government. We just need them not to stick their noses in and just not prevent us from doing business. I'd say the main problem we're facing right now are the Soviet-era regulations. You see, you cannot pass any, let's say, fire department test or sanitary epidemic service test, because all of the regulations they have right now are just mediocre. They have been brought from the Soviet Union, they have not been updated, and they're just, ridiculous. I've seen huge factories, including Hettich and Volkswagen in Germany, and I've seen how these giant factories work, and I see how the processes are organized there, and it's 21st century manufacturing, but they will not pass some of the regulations we have here, which is just, I'm saying it's ridiculous.
So the government here still has these very old, stoic regulations, which they have not changed at all. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's true. And you see, the point is that, well, I believe that nobody's interested in changing these regulations because it means bribes. I'm sorry, but that's true. And corruption is the main problem in Ukraine right now. We've seen that drop of corruption on the lower level because, well, there's a ban on most of the checks, most of the controlling organ checks. But still, people want money. They come and they want to see some envelope with some cash in it, and that's why nothing has been changed, and well, that's why we're in the place right now where we are.
You said you've seen change at the local level, so you mean at the local municipality level, or at what level?
I'd say the local internal revenue services. I'd say local fire department. But it all came from the top. It was the decision of the government in Kiev. That's true.
How are things in Odessa? Are things regionally in Ukraine, are they better in Odessa versus other parts of the country?
Well, it depends what you compare it to. If you compare it to Kiev, I'd say Kiev is better off, but it's always been like that because, well, Kiev is the capital, and you get lots of rich people there, and you get all kinds of investments from all over the country. If you compare Odessa to some redneck place, I'm sorry to use that word, but yes, it's better. Of course, because we have, again, the city is rather big, and we have the seaport, which is, well, what they say, the sea gates of Ukraine. So yeah, it's better off to be here. Yeah.
Now that, the currency obviously is devalued a lot, have you seen have you seen more business come to you versus, companies outside of Ukraine because of the drop in the value of the hryvnia?
No, I wouldn't say so. We because of the drop of the hryvnia and because of the some of the processes going on in Ukraine and in Europe, speaking about the log export ban for logwood, we are facing this stupid problem right now. We do not have enough chipboard from Ukrainian manufacturers because they prefer to export the goods to Europe and to get VAT back and to get the payments in euro. And my company is facing a deficit of chipboard, and we have to import it from Europe, which is, well, it's illogical, So we have our own chipboard that we have to import back from Europe. How's that?
Aside from corruption, what are some of the other obstacles your company is facing?
Well, I wouldn't say it's an obstacle. I would say it's a challenge. Mainly it's the lack of nice professionals, good professionals. Because you see, and I do believe that's the problem every post-Soviet country is facing right now. Because we don't have any schools for blue collars. You don't have anyone teaching you how to work with your hands. Just normal labor. Everyone wants to sit in the office, and do their job. And for some reason, working in the real sector of economy is not that popular. And besides, it's not only in Ukraine. Again, German guys were telling me that they have to stimulate their kids to come to the factory and work at the production line.
So you're saying that there aren't enough trade schools to really teach manual type of labor to young Ukrainians?
Yeah, manual labor is not popular, and unfortunately we do have the need for that, but we don't have enough professionals. And not only manual labor. For example, I'm struggling to find engineers because, well, furniture might look like something simple, but again, you have to construct it. You have to calculate everything. You have to know where to drill. Where to put the edge bending. And we have enough what they call designers, but basically those are not designers. They're just people who can draw nice, nifty pictures, but they cannot construct anything. They cannot calculate anything. So there you have it. On one hand, you have lots of designers. On the other hand, you don't have any mechanical designers. And again, what to do? You just bring in the person. You pay. Sometimes it's a student. Maybe let's say sometimes even a freshman student. You pick him up and he works part-time, and you teach him. You give him everything, and then you hope that he will stay with you and just do a decent job.
Why do you think there's a lack of talented engineers in Ukraine? Do you think it has also to do with a brain drain, people leaving the country?
Yes, that's true, because, well, exactly. It's just, again, it's the problem with all the post-Soviet countries. When we had enough engineers, we had enough brain in the country, but these brains were, well, underpaid and underestimated, and so that's why they just picked up and went. And now, there are no schools to teach them.
When you were visiting Germany, you visited the Volkswagen plant. Do you think this Ukraine could really do right by having, more manual labor schools, but also a mentorship program where people from these schools, students from the school, can go work at a company alongside yours and have a mentor there that can really train them with on-hands experience?
Yeah, without any doubt, Alex. I think that would be great because, as I'm saying, I've seen the market in Ukraine, I've seen the market in Europe, and I see new companies emerging, and I'm talking about some big manufacturing companies, not only in furniture production, but I'm talking about agricultural business, machinery for agriculture, just next door to me, and they do need professionals. They do need people who can do good manual labor. But as we've said before, there's no schools to teach them.
As far as foreign investors into Ukraine and outside companies coming to the country, what is preventing a lot of multinationals from coming into Ukraine and setting up offices and manufacturing plants here?
Well, numerous reasons, I guess. Well, first of all, and we do know, and we mentioned it, is corruption. Many investors don't understand why they need to put some extra money to some small-time or big-time government good to invest into the country. I mean, everyone all around the globe, they do want to foreign investments. Not here. Here, well, everyone, in the government sitting there and say, oh, well, what's it to for me, personally. Second thing is, with all the market being so volatile, and with the political crisis, and after all, let's say out loud, with the war going on in the country, I believe that Western companies are simply not willing to take the risk of investing, because you have to get your investments back in some feasible time, and when you cannot calculate in this time, why would you make an investment?
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, Vadym.
Yeah, I hope so somehow. Thank you, Alex.
All right. Have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
I'm Alex Gupta with UATV. I was speaking with Vadym Kostyliev. He is the owner of Tochka Opory, a furniture manufacturing business in Odesa, Ukraine.